Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni 'ilma. Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahla wa anta taj'alul hazna idha shi'ta sahla. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. I welcome you all to the class of Durus al-Lugha al-Arabiyyah. And today we are going to start, inshallah ta'ala, book 3, right? Inshallah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And book 3, it's a huge book, and this is the book which he was helping us to prepare through the first 2 books. And these were the first 2 books hardly contained, it just contained mostly about the 3-letter verbs. But this is the book for which we were preparing for. And this is the biggest book, like 300 pages in the original book. So the book 1 was 100 pages, book 2 was 200 pages, and book 3 was 300 pages in the classical version of it. But now the pages are different. But still, this is book 3. Now, so let's begin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in book 3. So the first chapter is Al-I'rabu wal-Bina. Right, I'rab and Bina. And this is, we talked about a little bit earlier, but now he's going into a lot of detail. All right, so before we start, let me just show you Al-I'rabu wal-Bina. So we know that there are 3 types of there are 3 types of there are 3 types of words, right, in Arabic. One is is a noun, other is a verb, and the third is a particle. A noun, verb, and a particle. Right, a noun, verb, and a particle. So let's talk about nouns. What are nouns? Nouns are something which do not have time in it, which do not have fi'l in it. It is, in Arabic they are divided into 3: ismu zat, wa ismul ma'na, wa ismu sifa. I mean, it could be both. Ismu zat, the thing is a name of a thing, right? Like qalamun or rajulun, ahmadu, and so on. Ismul ma'na is not a thing; it's a meaning. Okay, like ilmun, knowledge, nurun, light, and so on. And another, it could be ismu sifa, yani it could be like the ilm is made into an alim, a scholar, right? A tajirun, and so on and so on. So it's a noun. So noun can be in 3 cases, generally speaking. But before that, nouns can be divided into 2, right? Mu'arab nouns and mabni nouns. Right? They're divided into 2. Mu'arab noun, 2 types of nouns, generally speaking. Because the endings determine what types of nouns these are. So what are mu'arab nouns? Mu'arab nouns are those which show you the endings of a word, right? Which show the ending, which show endings of the word. Mabni nouns are those which do not show. Right? So 80% of the nouns should be mu'arab. They should show their endings. They should show. But 20% of those which do not show, they are called mabni nouns. Yeah, mabni nouns. Again, in mu'arab, there are 2 types. 2 types of mu'arab. Declinable and changing ending is called mu'arab. Yes, there are 2 types of mu'arab. One, munsarif, triplots. The other, ghair munsarif, or mamnu min as-sarf, you can call them. Right, ghair munsarif. One which shows all the 3 endings, one which does not show one ending. Yeah, they are diptotes, ghair munsarif. 2 types of mu'arab: munsarif, ghair munsarif. Okay, so these are the 2 divisions. So there's mu'arab, there's mabni, and in mu'arab we have munsarif and ghair munsarif. And there's several categories of nouns and so on and so on and so forth. Okay. Now there are three cases for a noun, right? Three cases for a noun. What are the three cases? Marfu, mansub, and majroor. Majroor. Right? Three cases for a noun. Marfu, mansub, and majroor. Correct? Right? Three cases which we've already learned of that. All right. Now we are learning something more about marfu. Okay. Would you give examples? For what? For what? Marfu. Mu'arab. Mu'arab is like Muhammadun. Mabni is Haza. We'll get examples in the lesson and so on. Yeah. He'll give all the list of Mabni, and in the notes also we have the examples of all the Mabni nouns. Munsarif is like Muhammadun again. Muhammadun. Ghair Munsarif is like Ibrahimu or Ahmadu. Okay. Ghair Munsarif, he'll bring it in the last lesson. All the types of Ghair Munsarif he'll bring in the last lesson of book 3. Okay. Fatima too. Yeah, there are a lot of lists, right? In book 1, last lesson, we learned briefly about it. And in the last lesson of this book also, he'll talk about again Ghair Munsarif. Okay. And then Marfu is Muhammadun with a Dhamma ending. Mansub is Muhammadan. Muhammadan. And Majroor is Muhammadin. Right? Where's Ha? I keep forgetting. Ha is which finger? Is P. Okay. Muhammadin. Muhammadin. Yeah, Dundandin. Now we are learning something more about Marfu. So in Marfu, one is in right, I'rab Asli. It's one is Dhamma. Dhamma is the primary ending. Dhamma is the primary ending. Right? Primarily, how do you know a word is mansub or not? Dhamma. Right? You see the Dhamma. Then you can ask a question. Then what is the dun here? Right? That another Dhamma is the sign of being tanween. Right? The noon, it was actually a noon. Like Muhammadun was Muhammad plus noon, right? So the noon went away and gave another Dhamma. So the actual sign is a Dhamma, marfu. But there are three more. Okay, and let's learn like in Dhamma, what do we have what comes in a Dhamma? So A, it comes in a singular noun, right? It's called mufrad, right? Like rajulun, it comes in that. It comes in B, broken plurals. It comes in broken plurals. All this is not important, huh? He doesn't bring it in the lesson, right? But it comes in Tuhfat as-Saniya, Ajrumiya. Right? It comes in all this. So I thought it will be beneficial for us to do this. Dhamma, and then it comes in sound feminine plural. Right? Dhamma comes Muslimatun. And another, it comes in present tense verbs. 5 in your pocket ones. Yafalu, tafalu, tafalu. 5 in your pocket. In these 4, that's it. You'll find dhammas. Singular word, broken plurals, sound feminine plurals, muslimatun. Also in verbs, present tense verbs, which are in 5 in your pocket, right? Which we learned, right? 5 in your pocket. Yafalu, yafalu, tafalu, tafalu, afalu, nafalu. That's it. You'll find dhammas in all these 4. That's it. Okay. Dhamma. This is the first sign of being marfu. The next are one. Dhamma one. I remember it's like Dhamma one. What is wow? Second is wow. It comes in 2. Sound masculine plural. Like Muslimuna. How is it marfu? Wa alamatu rafihi al wow. It is wow. Okay. Okay, just I'm trying to understand a little bit. Yeah, nothing's important. Yeah, sound masculine plural. Also, in second thing, in Asmaul Khamsa, 5 nouns. Zu, Abun, Akhun, correct, right? Abun, Akhun. Wow is the sign. And the third sign of being marfu is Alif. It comes in what? Duals. Muslimani, right? Duals. And dual verbs also. Saf'ala, no, not in dual verbs, sorry. No, only in duals, I think. Alif comes in where else? Only in duals. Yeah, only in duals, I think. As far as I remember, only in Muslimani, because alif is a sign of being marfu in only in duals, yes. And the dhamma one, wow, alif, and the fourth sign of being marfu is a noon. Noon comes in what? The five verbs. Yaf'aluna, taf'aluna, all noon comes and goes. The five verbs. Right? That's it. Five verbs. Mudare also alif. No, mudare is a noon, noon. Yaf'alani is a noon. Alif is the file. Damirun muttasil. Fi mahalli rafa. It's the noon. Okay. Okay. And noon comes in five verbs. That's it, huh? Five verbs. Anywhere else, noon comes as a sign of being marfu? No. As far as I don't remember. Okay. In fail mudar, five present tense verbs. So this is basic. So remember, there are four ways to identify a noun being marfu. One is asli, the other is far'i. It's called far'i, that is secondary endings. Waw, alif and noon, one. Dhamma, one. Dhamma is the asli, and waw, alif and noon are the far'i. This is how you identify a noun being marfu. Okay, all these things will bring it in the lesson, inshallah, and he'll bring it like separately. Okay, and he'll bring it separately. The second thing is mansub. I'm talking about verbs also because mansub, they're like five endings, huh? Mansub. One is fatha, right? Fatha, fatha akwan, fatha akwan. So fatha akiyan, I think. Yeah, akiyan. Fatha is akiyan, which is alif. So fatha comes in again. Same things in singular nouns, broken plurals, right? And not in sound feminine plural. Only in three now. Present tense verb. Because in sound feminine plural, it will never get a fatha. Muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. Its mansub is also with a kasra. We'll learn all that, inshallah. And then alif, sorry, yeah. Yeah, alif, only in one, right? In alif as mansub is in five nouns. Asmaul khamsa. Za, aba, akha. It's mansub with an alif. Then we have akiyan, kasra. Kasra comes in only one place, that is sound feminine plural. So you get kasra and it becomes mansub in sound feminine plural. Akiyan, all right? Okay, and ya comes in duals. And then again, noon comes in. Noon comes in. Five verbs. Af'alul khamsa. So fatha akiyan. Fatha akiyan. Okay. And the last is majroor. Majroor comes where? Third is majroor. Majroor comes in kaif. Right? Majroor one is kasra. Kasra comes in all these three again, broken plurals, singular nouns, yeah. And it's only khas for a noun, right? It doesn't come in verbs, majroor, right? Verbs do not become majroor. It does not become majroor, so it comes only in nouns, majroor, right? And then kasra and a ya is duals, as well as duals as well as sound masculine plural. Sound masculine plural. Muslimina, ina, una, ina. Even here it should be sound masculine plural. Right? Sound masculine plural. Okay. And kaif and the third one is what? Fatha. I forgot. Fatha comes in diptotes. Ibrahimu, fi Ibrahima, min Ibrahima. Okay. So these are all the signs. Khalas. Khalas. I went a little fast, but this is what it is. Right? How do you know? So what I'm trying to tell you is a noun can be mansub with a kasra also. See, where's mansub? Mansubs are here with a kasra. Where does it happen? In sound feminine plurals. Muslimatin, innal muslimati, inna muslimatin wal mu'minati, or something like that. Yeah, inna is coming. It should be mansub, but this is secondary ending, right? Secondary ending. So ultimately, majroor can be happen in three cases. Kasra, you generally you should get a kasra, but sometimes you look at a ya, where ani, aini, aini. See, muslimaini. Yes, khalaqa samawatin. It is mansub with a kasra. Okay, jamma muannas salim. Here it is majroor with a ya, ina also, like minal muslimina. Min came where you will like, oh, noon has a fatha. No, no, no. We look at the secondary ending, far'i, and it also becomes fatha, right? Min Ibrahima. So you might be, oh, Ibrahima has a fatha, so it should be mansub. No, right? It is majroor with a fatha. It is secondary ending. It's a diptot. It's ghair munsarif. And mansub again, fatha kiyan. The general rule is you should see a fatha and alif. Alif where only in 5 nouns. Za, za, zu, za, aba, akha, hama, fa. He'll bring all these things. Yeah. This is what kasra. You see a kasra in muslimatin. Khalaqa samawati wal arda. See, arda has an asli ending, but samawati has a far'i ending, a secondary ending. And ya also, right? Innal muslimina wal mu'minat, right? So inna it's mansub. And madfu again, dhamma one. Either you look at a dhamma or a waw or an alif or a noon. Dhamma one, fatha kyan, and kaif. It's just all the endings of there's signs of majzoom also, alamatul jazm, but it's specific for the verbs. There the noon drops. One is the noon drops, and the other is a sukun. I mean, it's only for the verbs. Jazm. Okay. This is the basic importance of. This is what mu'arab. This is all about mu'arab, right? Including munsarif and ghair munsarif also, like fatha, diptotes, yeah, diptotes, including ghair munsarif also. Everything about mu'arab. Again, there's another mu'arab. I hope this is clear, right? I can remove all this, right? I want to talk about latent endings. Taqdiri. Okay. I'm removing this, yeah. So what is taqdiri now? What is all this confusion? See, taqdiri is, it's a similar to mabni, right? So we are talking about nouns. So some nouns show, I mean, most of the nouns should show their endings, yeah. But some do not. They are called mabni. But there's some in between. Yeah, you took a snap. Now there's some in between, like there's mu'arab, there is mabni, but in between there is something called muqaddar, taqdiri, latent endings. So there are 3 types of latent endings. There are 3 types of latent endings. Okay. 3 types of this. This is again not in this book, but I'm trying to explain. One, I should bring it to the left. One is one. Oh, I'm not. One is a ta'azzur. Ta'azzur. What is ta'azzur? Yeah, we can't put ending, which ends with an alif or an alif maqsura. Maqsura. They are called maqsur. They are called maqsur. That is, it is impossible to put an ending to these guys. Like, for example, Mustashfa, Musa, Layla. These words are called maqsur. Isa. Okay. Why don't we call them mabni? Because sometimes they open up, like mustashfa, the plural is mustashfayatun also, and mashafin also. And it takes alif lam. Mabni words do not take alif lam, right? Al mustashfa. So these are nouns, right? These are nouns. Musa. It's impossible to put them. So what? So for example, Ja'a Musa. Now someone will come and ask you, Musa, is it marfu, mansub, or majrur? So you'll say it's marfu. How do you know? Because it's a file. So, but they'll ask, what is the sign of being marfu? What is the alama? So we say, alamatu raf'ihi dhammatun muqaddara. It was actually Musa, you, because they didn't like saying that. So we'll say, alamatu raf'ihi dhammatun muqaddara. It is, yeah, imagining it, it's estimated. Musa. This is impossible. We cannot do it. It's called mana'a min zuhuriha ta'adhur. Right? Dammatun muqaddara. Why did it come? Mana'a. It was prohibited from because it's ta'adhur. Ta'adhur is like impossible. They cannot give a tanween or anything to these guys. They are called maqsoor verbs. Then the second type, which is siqal. Siqal. Siqal is like, it is not impossible, but it's difficult. Okay. So they are, it comes in verbs also, by the way. I didn't give verbs example like yes, yeah, it was actually yes, you, yes, yanha, yeah, all those naqis verbs. Right? Those verbs. In ta'azzur, verbs also come, yeah. Mudare, they are again fatatun, dammatun muqaddara. It is marfu, like yaf'alu, it is marfu with a dammatun zahira. Right? Dhamma, which is clear ending. But muqaddara is something which is estimated. So, okay. Even if you're not understanding anything, it's okay, because inshallah you'll understand, because the first lesson is a little important. It gives you the whole picture of all the nouns and all the verbs and so on. You get i'rab and bina is something which confuses me a lot. Now, then there's siqal. Siqal is like, it is difficult. Yeah, yad'u. Yadu also is ta'azzur, right? Not ta'azzur, it is siqal. It is siqal. Okay, we learn it is difficult. So in this, they are which end with ya lazima, that is a proper ya, or a wow, or a wow, or a wow lazima, like yadu comes here, right? It is like a proper ya or a wow. Okay, lazima, I don't think it will come here. A ya or a proper, like. So what happens here is, it is difficult. So what happens in mansub, it will show. So for example, al-qadi. These are called what? Manqus verbs, manqus nouns. Manqus. Manqus. Remember. So lazima is like, it is not ya, it is not alif maqsura. It is a proper ya. So like al-qadi. Al-qadi. Now, it doesn't show in two places. Muqaddara in two places. So you estimate, like when it is marfu, you estimate. When it is majroor, you estimate. Like ja al-qadi, marartu ala al-qadi. These are, you say dammatun muqaddara and kasratun muqaddara. But in mansub, we have to show it. It is zahira. It is not muqaddara. So innal qadiya, darab, you can say sallam, not sallam. Yeah, innal qadiya or whatever. Innal qadiya. So because it's not difficult to say, Arabs left it like that. So how do you make it mansub? It remains the same. Innal qadiya. Or yad'u wa. For example, you gave yad'u example, right? So here, yad'u wa, you get a fathatun zahira. Yeah, is that a real yeah? It'll have two dots below. Correct. Naam, sahih. Okay, innal qadiya. Okay, the difference between that and this word ta'azzur and siqal is that in ta'azzur it is impossible in all the three cases. Marfu with dhammatil muqaddara, mansub with fathatil muqaddara, kasra with muqaddara, right? But here it is mansub with fathatun zahira. You can see the fatha, qadiya, muhamiya, and whatever, right? Or yad'uwa, lan yad'uwa. You can see the fathas in siqal. Okay. And the third is ya mutakallim. This is like harakatun munasiba, it is called. Let me light in English, it's easier. Harakatun munasiba. This is like ya mutakallim is like very stubborn, no? So he'll give example like anything, make it mansoob, majroor, or ya ummi, ja'at ummi, marartu bi ummi. It always remains ummi. So what? So why does it happen? Right? Inna ummi or inna lummi. It's always no. This is inna ummi. Indeed, my mother. How do you know it's mansoob, marfu, and majroor? So we say this is also muqaddara. We know it is there with our heart. We can see because inna came. It should have actually been ummayi, but because harakatun is because ya mutakallim case, it forces the previous letter to get a kasra. Any case, right? Any matter, whatever it is, right? So these three words, because they're special, we say they are latent endings. They are like taqdiri. We have to imagine them. They are not mabni, okay? They are not mabni. No, not at all. Because of three reasons, they are latent, right? This is what is there. That's it, yeah. This is what you are learning in first lesson, okay? Taqdeer is little confusing, okay? But it happens in three, right? It ta'azzur, thiqal, and harakatul munasiba. What is ta'azzur? Ta'azzur, impossible, mustashfa. Second, it is qadi, manqus, maqsoor, manqus, and ya mutakallim. Okay, rest all you have to see. So if you imagine all nouns, if you imagine, so one which will show, right, which show all the three, they're like fine, boss, Muhammadun, Muhammadan, Muhammadin. Second, which will show partially, right, and they are diptotes, Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. Third, which are taqdiri, which will show sometimes like sikal it shows, but they're also like mabni kinds, right? They're also like they'll show sometimes. Only in one case they'll show. Rest all they'll never show. That is qadiya. That's in manqus nouns, right? They'll never show. Fourth is mabni, right? They will never show again. They're like for mabni we'll say fi mahalli rafa, fi mahalli nasb, fi mahalli jar. In the place of nasb, in place of this. We don't say marfu and so on. Okay. Okay, fi mahal we say in for mabni. So one which shows everything, all the three endings, and even in the three endings, we learned all the ways it shows, right? Secondary endings also. So endings they're showing, but again not by fatha dhamma kasra. Some show by dhamma one, so they show by waw, alif, and noon. Some with fatha akyan, so mansub with alif, kaf. What is kaf? Kasra, alif, kasra, and ya and noon. And then third is kaifa, kaif. So with kasra, ya, and what is for fatha. So even if they're showing, they want to show separately. Like so, emotions. If you imagine, if someone is happy, everyone is happy, but some smile, some laugh, some roll on the floor laughing, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So they have different ways of showing their laughter. Okay. So right. So their primary ending should be fatha, dhamma, kasra. But there's secondary endings also. For marfu, it is one, waw, alif, noon. For mansub, it is akyan, alif, kaf, that is kasra, ya, and noon. And then for majroor, it is kaif, kasra, ya, and noon. Now, all this is what, all this is showing the way of endings. And then there's taqdiri. These guys don't show like mabni guys, except once. That's all they are. We can't call them mabni because they take alif lams and so on. There's like a problem, right? We can't call them mabni because kitabi, how do you say it's mabni? We cannot say that it's mabni. And then mabni list is a little bit long. We get pronouns, all types of pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, hada, dalika, then ismul ishara, right? Those are demonstrative pronouns. Then damair muttasila, munfasila. Then he gives a list. Okay, so this is what I wanted to start our brief with. Okay, let's read this, inshallah, 5 pages, I guess, of the notes, and then we'll do maybe 1 page of the lesson. Nouns, declension and non-declension. This is the notes, right? So in book 3, majorly we have 10 forms. We have 10 lessons for that. Rest all, we learn majhul, we learn i'rab al bina, and we have noon sakhilan mukhaffifa, istisna, maful, all 5 types of maful. Mafulun bihi, we already learned. Maful li adlihi, mafulun mutlaq, mafulun ma'ahu. There's one more. 5 types of mafuls we learn, um, uh, and various rules, of course. We learn shart, which is very important. 3 lessons for shart, conditional sentences. Mafun liyadlihi nam. So let's start with i'rab al bina. Nouns, declension and non-declensions. Okay. A noun, when used in a sentence, must be in one of the 3 cases, right? It has to be in 3 cases: majrur, mansub, or marfu. This is called noun declension. It's called establishes the function of that noun in a sentence, because the endings determine your function in a sentence. The noun declension is used usually indicated by the noun endings. Usually, we see the endings on khalas marfu, khalas mansub, khalas majrur. While most nouns decline, some do not. Decliners, they are not mu'arab. And the ones with decline have different signs of decline. And even if they decline, they have different signs. Right? Nouns are classified according to the declension, non-declension as follows. So ismun, mabniyun, they are mabni, non-declinable, and the declinable. There's a change. There's no change in the endings. Right? Non-declinable. Again, in declinable, there are 3 parts. Primary endings, you'll get al-i'rab al-asliya. Secondary endings, wan, akyan, and kayf. Not kayf, maybe, only an ya and fatha. These are far'iyya, al-i'rab al-asliya, primary. Basically, you'll find these, marfu, mansub, and majrur. But here also far'iyya, you'll find secondary endings also. In other types of work, like Jama Muzakkar Salim, you look for a una and ina. Duals, you see ani and aini. In atun, atin, atin, in Muannas Salim. Then zu, zazi, ismaul khamsa. Then noon drops in verbs, right? A secondary, right? And there's taqdiri also. These guys are like cool guys. They don't show. They're like mabni guys, but once they show. For some declinable now, the endings are hidden. They're like hidden. And I estimated. You just imagine them according to their function in the sentence. Okay, taqdiri they call. Right? Although taqdiri could be clubbed into mabni, but still they are not mabni. Yeah, they could come here, but still they're not. So non-declinable, what are the mabni nouns? There's some list of them. Like we get the pronouns huwa, anti, nahnu, kitabuha, attached and detached pronouns, demonstrative pronouns hada, hadi, dhalika, tilka, hulaika, except dual forms, hazani and hatani, and zanika, tanika. Those are, if they become hazaini, except duals. Asmaul Mausula, Allazi, Allati, Allazina, except duals again, Allazani and Allatani. We'll learn all this in the lessons, inshallah. Allazaini it becomes. Interrogative nouns, questioning nouns, yeah. Man, Aina, they never change. Man is always man. Aina is always Aina. We don't do Ainun, Ainan, Ainin. No, never. Mata, Kaifa, always Kaifa. Mabniun al fatha, like for example, if you want to say Mabniun al fatha, it is fixed on fatha ending. Yeah? Adverb, some adverb, not all. Tahta, if you bring fi tahti, tahti hal anhar, it happens. But some, like amsi, yesterday, is always amsi. Why does it have a kasra? You'll say majrur. No, they are mabni like that. It's not amsan, amsun, no, never. Haisu also. Haisu is wherever. Huh? Haisuma. Al-ana is now. Iza is also used for shart. Iza ja'a nasrullah. It's fixed, mabni. Asma'ul af'al. There's some nouns which give the meaning of verbs. Right? Amin. Amin means what? Istajib. So instead of using a verb, accept a prayer, right? We use Amin. Uf. Uf is like, yeah, uf. I'm tired of you, kind of. Yeah. Uf. Ahi is like, I feel pain. Okay. And then numbers from 11 to 19. 13, yeah, 11 to 19, except 12. Right? Except 12. Isna becomes isna. It's mabni. Always salisa ashra, salasata ashra. They are always fixed. So these are the list of mabni nouns. Right? Most of them, we know all of them, right? We talked about them when learning book 2. Then there's secondary endings. So what are these endings? First, Jamu Muannas Salim, right? Far'iyya. How does it become marfu? Same, asliya only, abdamma. Ja'ati talibatu. See, how do you know it's marfu? Dhamma. Dhamma, right? Clear. But alamatu nasbi, ra'aytu talibati. And I read a post like, why do they give kasra? Because it previously itself is a alif here. So you have to open your mouth, right? So because it's so difficult, ra'aytu talibata, right? So it's like double stress. So that's why they like deleted it and said, we'll give a kasra itself. Because it's so difficult to hear also, right? To talibata, bata. So they, because you're already opening your mouth and already double, it's becoming heavy. These notes, yeah, it's available. Yeah, I'll put it in the group. These are the notes we use for book 2 also. Yeah. These are called ARIC notes. Yeah. We'll find it online. I'll send it in the group. Yeah, inshallah. Right to talibati. So it is kasra. It's not a fatha. And majrur is again kasra. Fine. Then diptotes. Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. Dhamma, marfu, correct. Alamatul nasb, mansub is what? Fatha again, yeah. Raitu Ibrahima. And alamatul jarri, al fatha again. Sallamtu ala Ibrahima. Ala came, kasra should come, but these are diptotes. Asmaul khamsa again. Here, alamatul rafa is not a haraka, it's by huruf. It's by letter. Ja Abu Hamidin. See, wow. Marfu with a wow. Ra'aytu Aba Hamidin. Mansub with an alif. And Sallamtu ala Abi Hamidin. Majrur with a ya. And then Jamu Muzakkar Salim. Una, ina, ina. So marfu with a wow. Majrur Ra'aytu Mudarrisina. Majrur with a ya. And Mansub and Majrur both are with a ya. And duals also. Ani, aini, aini. Alif, ya, ya. Right? We talked about a little bit, inshallah. We'll learn about it again in the lesson also. So these are the different endings here. You see fatha, all these red ones here. These are going against the norm, right? Like this one. These are with letters. They are not with fatha dhamma kasra. They are wow, alif and ya. Why? And again, una, ina, ina. So wow. And you might ask a question. Jal mudarrisuna. What is this noon then? It's called iwadun and tanween. So it's like tanween has gone, so it left here. It's a substitute for tanween. Because a noun should have tanween, right? Mudarrisuna. So this is called substitute for tanween. Instead of having tanween, they put a noon. Because you cannot say mudarrisun. It will not, you cannot find it out, right? So they put the noon and made it mudarrisuna. Similarly here also, this noon. So that is why we learn a rule, when it make it mudaf, this noon drops. Like tanween drops, this also, like raitu mudarrisu makkata. Mudarrisu makkata. I saw the teachers of Makkah. Right? Mudarrisu. So we'll drop the noon when it becomes mudaf. Then there's taqdiri, latent endings. So it happens in 3 cases, as you said. In maqsoor, this is called ta'azzur. It's impossible. Ja al fata. How is it marfu? You have to think it is a dhamma. Dhammatun muqaddara. Ra'aytul fata. Same. Right? Fathatul muqaddara. Alamatul nas fathatul muqaddara. Sallamtu ala al fata. I said salam to the fata. Kasratul muqaddara. Same in maqsoor. All are muqaddara. But in manqus, ja al qadi. Okay, fine. Qadi. Kasratul dhammatun muqaddara. It was actually qadiyu, but we don't say. But in nasb we show fatha, ra'aytul qadiya. Right? Except in this, all are muqaddara. This is zahira, fathatun zahira. Sallamtu ala al-qadi. This is again kasratul muqaddara. Right? You can ask a question. This has a sukoon, by the way. Okay. So ala came, it should get a kasra, right? Qadiyi. No, nothing happens here. It remains qadi. And mudaf, this again, ja ustazi. How do you know it's marfu? Ustazi has a kasra. You might say, oh, this is a kasra. It is majrur. No, it is not a majrur. Yeah? Because ya mutakallim guys, harakatun munasiba. Right? It's appropriate haraka. Because ya came, we had to give a kasra. Ja ustazi, my teacher came. Raitu ustazi, again ustazi. I saw my teacher. Sallam to Allah ustaz, again ustazi. You might, how should we identify? This is ya mutakallim. It always does that. Stubborn guy this is. Always says previous guy should get a kasra. Right? Always. So what is maqsoor? It is a noun ending in a long a. That is an alif. It could be a zahir alif also, right? Like da. Da is a verb anyways. Okay. Remember, another thing, fail madi and fail amr are always mabni. We don't never talk about them in verbs. Fail madin wa fail amrin mabni yani. They're always mabni. They're fixed. Only mudare is what we talk. And what is the meaning of mudare? Anyone knows? Why? Okay, madi is, we know it is madi. It is past tense. That's why it's called madi. Fail amr, it is command, imperative form. We know it is. But why is mudare called mudare? Anyone? Present. Mudare doesn't mean present. No. No. Dara is to have similarity. So mudare, it has similarity to nouns, right? It has similarity to nouns. So that is why it is called mudare. Dara is to something which has similar, tashbih, tashabbaha, ashay, okay, which copies. So this is guy is copying, because verbs should be mabni always. Why is mudare taking all these moods? Right? Because it's copying the nouns. It wants to be like a noun. So it's like yafalu, yafaluna. It has these moods and so on. Okay, it's copying the nouns. Verbs are mabni. And why are mabni nouns mabni? They're fixed anyways. But these guys are copying the verbs. Right? Hada. Right? We want to be like fa'ala. So they're like copying the verbs. Okay. In a perfect world scenario, all nouns should be mu'rab and all verbs should be mabni. But it doesn't happen like that. So, right? All nouns should have endings, because verbs that we don't need endings actually to give the meaning. Right? For example, lan comes, lan yaf'ala. It's fine if it says lan yaf'al or lan yaf'alu. It's fine. The meaning doesn't change at all, does it? Right? Because with the lan we know that it's future tense. He is not doing. He will not do. Right? The ending doesn't tell you anything at all, does it? Right? It just, it just changes it because it's copying. Mudare. That's why it's called mudare. Okay, because it's copying. And mankhus are those nouns which are ending with the original ya. Ya lazima is translated as original ya, and a letter before the ya has a kasra. Yeah, this is also important. The letter before ya should have a kasra, because if it is aini, if it has a fatha, then it comes in duals, right? The letter al-wadi, al-muhami, al-qadi. Summary. This is all the summary. Nouns, ismun, mabniyun. Mabni are all these here. Damair, asma al-ishara, asma al-mawsula, asma istifham, zuruf, and so on. Primary, secondary, taqdiri. Primary, majority of the nouns come into this category. Then secondary endings only in 5. We see in 5 secondary endings. Muzakkar salim, muannas salim, asmaul khamsa, and ghair munsarif, musanna, and mamnu min as-sarf. So plurals. So you can say, remember, like duals, or both plurals, that became 3. Diptotes, that's 4, and there's one more. Asmaul khamsa, 5 nouns, just 5 nouns. 5 nouns. So in 5 cases, there's secondary endings. In nouns, in nouns. 5 cases. That's it. Duals, 2 types of plurals, asmaul khamsa, and diptotes. Rest all taqdiri again in 3, manqus, maqsoor, and ya mutakallim. Right? Don't confuse between manqus and maqsoor because it sounds same. Remember, alif maqsoora is a ya without dots. Okay, so that is why it's called maqsoor. Manqus is called naqas shay, to reduce, yeah. So it comes in fatha. So qadi, it has a ya lazima, manqus. And mudaf ila ya mutakallim, it is mudaf to ya mutakallim. This is shart anyways. So let's begin this. Now we are starting the actual lesson. Next 15 minutes, inshallah, we'll try to read the lesson. This is the first lesson. Bismillah. So 45 minutes we talked about all this stuff, right? The background of this lesson. This is the first lesson, so it's a little long and so on, and it'll look like we're learning book 3 for the first time. Okay, Arabic for the first time. No, we'll do one page at least. So, al-i'rab wal-bina, right? For 15-20 minutes. Because something we should start, right? Bismillah. Al-i'rab wal-bina fil asma, right? I'rab is what? The endings, yeah? I'rab. تغيير آخر أحوال آخر شيء. إعراب is what? Changing of the endings, yeah, of the last letters. والبناء is مبني, being fixed في الأسماء in nouns. So he divides into two parts, and most of the Arabic books start like this. They'll talk about mabni, what is a word, and the endings, and so on and so on. Like after this book, inshallah, when we do Tuhfat al-Sadiya, we'll get to know all these things. Yeah, whenever, next year, whatever. Now, al-ismu imma mu'rabun. Imma is either, huh? The noun is either mu'rab. It could be either mu'rab. Wa imma mabniyun, or it could be fixed. It could be either mu'rab. Mu'rab, it shows the endings, or it's like fixed, it doesn't show anything. فالمعرب, what is mu'rab? ما تغير. This is form 5. We learn all these forms in the future. تغير يتغير is to change. And mu'rab is what? Which changes. Ma is ma mawsula, allazi kind of, yeah. Al-mu'rab is what? Changes. Akhiruhu, its ending changes. Why it changes? Bisababil amil. So there's an amil. Amil is an agent. It's forcing, right? Like there's a book also Miyacho Amil. Like there are 100 agents which force everything. Yeah, Miyacho Amil. So they are like Amil. Awamil is the plural. Huh? So these amils, these agents come and force you. Like fail comes and makes file marfu always. Nahwu, for example. Ja'al mudarrisu. So the endings is changing, right? It is marfu because of, I mean, anyways, it's a default case, but file, marfu'un. Sa'altul mudarrisa, mansubun. Right? Mudarrisa, mansub. Why? I asked the teacher. Why is it mansub? Because it's the object. Mafulun bihi, right? We learned in book 2. Mansub. Sallamtu ala al mudarrisi. I said salam to the teacher. So ala majrurun. See, these are the marfu, mansub, and marfu. Very easy, right? These are mu'rab. Wal mabni. Mabni is ma la yataghayyar, which does not change. It does not akhiruhu bisababil amil. Any amil comes, any agent comes before it, it doesn't change at all. Nahwu, for example, ja'a haulai. It's always haulai. So you might ask, oh, this is majrur. No, it is not majrur. We look at the agent before. So we say fi mahalli raf'in. It is not marfu, it is in the place of rafa. Because if you use Muhammadun, then it's marfu, right? Ja'a haulai. These people came. These came actually. These came. Sa'altu haulai. I asked these. Fi mahalli nasb. They are nasb place. Sallamtu ala haulai. I said salam to these. Fi mahalli jar. These are mabni. So always we'll never say marfu. But for learning purpose, we said earlier, haza is marfu, hazi is majrur, because we didn't want to talk about fi mahal all the time. It's just technical. Fi mahalli raf, fi mahalli jar, and fi mahalli nasb. Al-mu'rabu wal-mabniyu fil asma. Right? Mu'rab and mabni in the asma, and this is what? Al-asma'u kulluha. The nouns, all of them are mu'raba. It's all mu'raba. Ma adal fiyatil atiya. He gives a list of, and we'll just do this list today, inshallah. Ma ada is except, illa. We'll learn, inshallah, in istisna. Ghayru, ma'ada, siva, illa are used all for exceptions. Except. So all nouns are mu'rab. Then except he gives a list of mabni nouns, which we already saw just now. Except al-fi'at. Fi'atun is a group. Fi'atun. It comes in the Quran also. Fiyatun. Its plural is fiyatun. Groups, except the atiyati is following. Atin is the one who comes, right? So here it's oneness because fiyat. So the coming groups. What are the mabni nouns? Ad-damair. All the damairs, be it attached, detached, or attaching to a verb also are damair. Yeah, remember, it's fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, all those alif, fa'alna, ta, tuma, tumti, tuma, tunna, tuna, all of these are mabni. Huwa, hum, right? Huwa damirun munfasilun fi mahalli raf. Hum damirun munfasil again fi anta again, antum, ana. Zahabtu, tu damirun muttasilun fi mahalli raf fa'il. This is the file, eh? Tu is the file. Qalu damirun munfasilun muttasil في محل رفع file. This is also the file. هذه ضمائر الرفع. These are the مرفوع ضمائر, right? These are all مرفوع because this is the file مرفوع مرفوع ضمائر رفع. رأيته ضمير متصل في محل جر مضاف إليه مفعول به. This is the object. رأيته أسألك. I saw him. This is mansub. That is في محل نصب. أسألك. I asked you. ka. ضربني يا. هذه ضمائر النصب. These are the nasb ضمائر. Nasb. Because they have objects, right? كتابه. This is jar. مضاف مضاف إليه. So who is also في محل جر. دفترها. Her, his book. Her notebook. اسمك. Your name. عليها. On her. See all this car. This is all jar majrur anyways. When the pronoun joins a preposition, it becomes jar majrur. Lana again jar majrur. هذه ضمائر الجر. Remember, we talked about this in some lesson, right? They are damayr rafa, damayr nasb, damayr jar. Then we have asmaul isharat. Asmaul isharat, very easy. Yeah? There's nothing to think about it. They are mabni all the time. Haza, hazihi, zalika, ulaika, except duals. Hadani wa hatani mu'arabani. Hazani is used for these two, right? Hatani is used for these two female. They are mu'arab. So we say hazaini. Fi hazaini, hataini. Ani becomes aini aini. Then we have asmaul mawsula. Allazi, allati, allazina, except allazani and allatani. Those two. Allazani is used for twos. These two. Ja'a waladani alladani. The boys who came. Allatani. Ani becomes aini aini. Because duals are always mu'arab. Then asmaul istifham. Right? Nouns which are used for questioning. Asmaul istifham. Not halful istifham, not the a or hal. Hal is a half. It's not a noun. Hal. But man, who, aina, where, ma, what. And these are nouns. Yeah? Okay. Mata, when. So all these how, when, where, what, how, kaifa. All these W's, yeah, or and a how. Ba'du zuruf, some of the adverbs also haisu, iza ja nasrullah, al-ana, now, haisu, wherever, ittaqillaha haythu ma kunta, fear Allah wherever you are. They are mabni, haisu. It never becomes haisan, haisun, you know. Amsi, yesterday, amsi is always yesterday. Yeah, kasra. Asma'ul af'al, some nouns which give the meaning of verbs. Amin, uffin, very few these are. Ismul fi'al they are called. Ahi is used for pain. Then numbers, yeah, 11 to 19 except 12. Mislu ahada ashra. Always fata fata. Never you'll say ahadun ashrin. No. It's always fata 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 fata. Ahada ashra. Tisat ashra. 19. Asalis ashra. This is ordinal numbers. 13th floor. Al-juzul awal min ithna ashra mu'arabun. He gives an exception that 12th isna ashra is mu'arab because it becomes ai, isnai. Nahu yadrusu fil fasli isna ashra taliban. In the class study 12 students. So this is marfu with an alif. Ra'aytu isnai ashra taliban. I saw 12 students. Hada ta'amu lifnai ashra taliban. This is also majrur with a ya. All right, so this is a little difficult. All these things is a little difficult. Don't worry if you don't understand anything. Yeah. Anyways, these are endings and so on. We'll continue from alamatul i'rab al-asliya wal far'iyya. Far'a is a branch. So secondary endings. Asli is the root. And far'a is the branches. Yeah, you see the branches. So this is far'iyya. We'll continue next week, inshallah. From this. This is like aina, man, mata, kaifa. Haza. Okay, this is what will continue next week, inshallah ta'ala. So this is what, try to understand, watch it again and again, inshallah. And inshallah, revision is necessary for book 3, please. Yeah, book 3, because there's a lot going on here. There's so many rules coming and so on. So please revise. No classroom, only one class per week, ma'am. Because we need to go slow with book 3. It's a lot to digest for many people. So please revise, inshallah. Even for teaching, it's for me difficult because there's a lot to talk about in this. Okay, Jazakallahu Khairan, inshallah. See you in the next class, next Friday, inshallah ta'ala. I'll try to put tests also, inshallah. I'll try it. I can't, so please remind me in 1 or 2 days on my website. So every lesson will have 5 to 10 tests, inshallah, multiple choice in whatever we did in this class, right? Inshallah ta'ala. I'll try to create, inshallah, because we have only ArabicEnthusiast.wordpress. It's a free website I created. I created for book 1 8 lessons till now. Inshallah, someday I'll finish book 1 also. ArabicEnthusiast.wordpress.com. Free domain, I just made it. I'll show the website 1 second. Can I what? I'll send a link in the group. Like this is the website I created something, yeah. Like this, yeah. And so you can go book 1, for example, lesson 1. You can go. You can see the video of the class, and then you can see the key also. I put the photos of the key here, and then you can give an exam. Like you put your email address and so on. And so I did for 8 lessons till now, inshallah. Someday I want to finish for all the, right? Like for example, lesson 8, you give here, and then you try the what is front. Front is what amama. You can select, like you can give your name and liman hadis whose watch is this, and you can choose the correct option and so on. I did for 8 lessons till now, and there's this 10 lessons test also, 1 to 10 test, right? You can do the revision and then give the 10 lessons, right? Inshallah. So I'll try to put a section for book 3 also. Book 2 also we need to do, but this is like we are going ongoing session, right? It's easier for me to create now itself, because if I sit and create 1 year later, it will become difficult, because it'll be fresh in my memory also what questions I can keep and so on, right? Inshallah, maybe 5-10 questions, whatever. I don't have a number, depends on the context, and right? Most of it will not be based on the video on the class. It will be based on the notes. So we've done 1.5 page of the notes, right? I'll put only in that, inshallah. And you can go to resources and download the books also. Like many people keep asking links, right? These are the notes, yeah. ARIC notes. This is the notes. Book 3, you can download it from here. Madina reader books, you can download here. Albia Benedek, you can new edition, old edition. Audios, I have to put the change it here. I got the new audios for Albia Benedek. Then my playlist, you can check all my playlists here. Book 1, book 2, book 3 English is pending. And fiqh knowledge and all the playlists are here. Story time, inshallah. Now, inshallah. So like a website, like many people are finding difficult to keep a track on which video they watch. So book 3, lesson 3, they can come here and watch it. No need to go to the playlist section and find it difficult. They can find all the lessons, and then inshallah Arabic Benedek also for each lesson. I'm hope someday. It's a lot of work, because each lesson I have to think about which questions to put, whether it's nice or not, yeah, and so on, inshallah. Right, so some photo I put in beginnings just for some. Alhamdulillah. So this is my website. Yeah, these are the books which are doing, right? Arabic Benedek, Ibn Sahih Bukhari, and so on. These are the latest posts, and these are my contacts. Okay, something, yeah. Somehow I learned watching videos and so on. WordPress, how to use, and okay. Jazakallahu Khairan. Inshallah, see you in the next class. Barakallahu feekum. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.